since I talked about Boomecca last time, this time I'm talking about Boomecca. And yes, I know not many people want to hear about Boomecca, but I want to share the story with you because it's one of the cuter stories, kind of like the Boomecca. Well, as you know, I love Boom Hour. I have all those Boomecca videos. My favorite, of course, is the Boom Hour's I'm Still a Guy featuring Rebecca video. I love that. I love rewatching that video every day. Okay, anyway, on to the story. Now, now Rebecca met Boomhauer in between the last season of the original King of the Hill run and the new reboot season. Now when they met, she met them by kind of like how she was jogging down the street, kind of like that one woman was, but in this scenario, all four men were in this alley instead of just Bill. But like that time, Bill did fall in love with my character first. But she wanted to be friends with all four. So she said, "Hi, I'm Rebecca." And Hank's like, "Where did you come from, ma'am?" She's like, "I come from McManorberry." Yes, she came from McManorberry. Okay, anyways. And she said, "Who are you for?" And and Hank's like, "I'm Hank." Dale says he's Dale. Bill introduces himself as Bill. And Boomhauer tells her his name is Boomhauer. She tells him that it's nice to meet them and that she'd like to get to know him. They nod and say that they would love to get to know her too. Okay, the next day, Rebecca goes over to, as I will also say this. At that point, Rebecca lived across the street from Boomhauer. Okay, so the next day, Rebecca exits her house, sees Boomhauer, washing his car in just a pair of sexy shorts. Couldn't help myself, I had to say sexy. Anyways, then she walks over and says, "Hey, Boomhauer, it's how are you this morning?" Says, "Oh, Rebecca. Oh, Rebecca. It's nice to see you." "Well, it's going good, dangle good, you know. How are dangle you?" He's like, "I'm fine. I was wondering if I could hang out with you and your Hank, Dale, and Bill later today." Like, "Oh, dangle, sure you can. Do you like Alamo beer?" It's like, "Do I like that? I love Alamo beer. It's my beer, yo. Or, it's my beer, man." Like, "Cool, then we'll definitely get along great. Say, have you met Hank's wife and Dale's wife?" She tells him, "No, I haven't." "Well, you'll see dang old Dale's wife on the news a lot when she talks about the weather. And Peggy comes around often during our conversations." "So that's their names, Nancy and Peggy?" She says, "Yep, Nancy's Dale's wife and Peggy is Hank's." "Is Bill married?" she asks. He says, "No, he used to be though." She then asks, "Are you married?" And he says, "No, but I wish I was married to one of my old flings named Catherine." She says, "Well, I'm glad you're, I mean," she gets nervous and he says, "If you're trying to say that you're happy that I'm not married, I kind of get it, 'cause you're really pretty. So would you like to hang out at the park?" They then go to the park. They talk for a while, and then later that day, when they're with Hank, Bill, and Dale, Dale says, "So, miss, what brings you to Arlen?" She says, "I wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle." Hank says, "Say, do you use propane?" She's like, "Of course I use propane. Charcoal and all those other crappy brands don't measure to propane." Then we'll get along fine," he says. Bill then asks her, "Say, are you looking for romance?" And she says, "Not with you. I've already got my eyes set on a man." Boomhauer. So I said, "Darn! Boomhauer, not again! You've stolen my crush away." Well, I says, "She never liked you. She only admitted to liking me." "Well, I had a crush on her, so no way you deserve her. You won't treat her well like I will." Rick says, "I doubt Boomhauer won't treat me well. He's a real sweetheart." She's dang old right, Bill. Besides, you're a little creepy. I'm not creepy, he said. I'm just a. Okay, anyways. Later, the two go on a double date with Peggy and Hank and Peggy says, "This must be the new girl who Boomhauer told me about. Or who you told me about, Hank, sorry. Yes, this is Rebecca. She's new. I hear you're from McManerberry. We just recently beat that team in football." Rebecca says, "Yes, I know." And yes, now Boomhauer and her are dating, as I was saying, they were dating. Boomhauer had told her that he had a crush on her, that he was beginning to like her in the way she likes him when they were in the alley. Okay, once the date was over and they were back at Rebecca's house, Boomhauer and her shared their first kiss, as they would have kissed goodnight. Then, after many years, well, actually, I won't say that. Boomhauer and Rebecca went on loads of dates. Some with Hank and Peggy, some with Dale and Nancy. Even one was with Hank and Peggy and Dale and Nancy. Okay, then many years pass. Well, not many years, but many months pass. And is still deeply in love with Rebecca. So he asked his grandmother or his Meemaw for her ring, like he wanted to do with, what was that girl's name? If you remember that girl's name, tell me, 'cause I always forget her name. Okay, when he was trying to marry that one woman, and this time when he asked Rebecca to marry him, she's like, "Oh, Boomhauer, yes, of course I'll marry you." And then they get married three another 3 months later. Then they have two children, a boy named Boomhauer the fourth, and a girl named Jessie. So, and then they spend a load of time with Dale and me. Bill always wa- Bill, Hank, and Dale always watch the kids sometimes when Boomhauer and Rebecca are on dates or when they're out on vacation, which they go on vacation a lot because they go to places like Dallas and stuff like that. And also, Rebecca's favorite team in football is the Dallas Cowboys, even though in real life my favorite team is the Jaguars. But anyways, so that's the lore of Boomecca. I told you it would be short.